Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So let's begin our session with the wonderful quote: Efficiency thrives where skills meet opportunity. Success blooms where groundwork precedes action. Good evening, everyone. I, Priya, your host for today's international webinar on the topic Sharpening the Axe, extends my warm greeting and a very good evening to all of you present here. Striving for greatness unveils a truth. Success doesn't solely sprout from labor, it's nurtured through meticulous refinement. The delighted comprehend that exceptional accomplishments arise not merely from toil, but from the ceaseless sharpening of faculties. It's the relentless quest of wisdom, the conscious nurturing of skills, and the dedication to refining oneself that lays the groundwork for brilliance. Like an axe dulled by use, our minds demand perpetual owning. To soar in any pursuit, we must embrace an unending evolution, a commitment to consistently enhancing our abilities. Mastery doesn't manifest in sporadic efforts, it's a product of unwavering devotion and continuous self improvement. Thus, the essence of triumph resides in the recognizing that achievements of significance are born from the ongoing deliberate polishing of our intellect and capabilities. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on sharpening the axe. And to add to our guest of honor, today's speaker is Mr. Jitendra Sharma, sir. It's a great honor to have you with us, sir. We are grateful for your presence here with us today. Mr. Jitendra Sharma is a seasoned professional with a legacy of global expertise spanning over 3 decades. His journey through 16 countries, equipped with a double master's degree in marketing management and computer management, reflects an illustrious career steeped in industrial marketing, sales, and strategic management. With an impressive 26-year corporate tenure, Mr. Jitendra's expertise reached its pinnacle during his 12-year tenure as regional category manager at Kimberly Clark Professional, overseeing 11 countries in the Asia Pacific. His journey did not stop at corporate milestones. Choosing to share his wealth of knowledge, Mr. Jitendra transitioned to consulting, facilitating accelerated growth for mid-sized businesses. His passion for nurturing talent led him to offer comprehensive training in marketing, business, and soft skills to corporate and educational institutes. Or sought after Mr. Jitendra Apat's wisdom as a guest speaker, academic circles. He is a distinguished corporate faculty at Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning, contributing to the academic landscape. Beyond the boardroom, Mr. Jitendra thrives in community service. His active involvement with Rotary International reflects his commitment to service. He holds esteemed positions from President-elect at Rotary Global History Fellowship to editor-in-chief of their global publication. His influence extends to nurturing youth leadership, igniting new Rotaract and Interact clubs to empower the next generation of leaders. Mr. Jitendra Sharma sir is a global professional, a mentor, and a beacon of service, shaping futures and unleaving an indelible mark wherever he goes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Priya, and very good evening to all of you. And thank you for that nice introduction. So, today we've all gathered here to discuss this particular subject known as sharpening the axe. Let me start by telling you all a small story. This is the story of a young and very strong woodcutter who was looking for a job, and he goes to a timber merchant and asks for a job. The timber merchant sees that this guy is young, strong, and eager to do something good. And so he gives him the job. The pay was really very good. And so the woodcutter was determined to do his best. The boss gave him an axe and showed him the area where he's supposed to work. The first day, the woodcutter, with full energy, went and put all his efforts and managed to cut down 20 trees. Congratulations, the boss said. Go on that way. And definitely the woodcutter was ecstatic and very happy. When he slept and got up on day two, he said, today I'll put in much more efforts and even break the record of my day one and try to cut many more trees today. Puts in all his efforts, but all that he could do was manage to cut only 15 trees. Naturally, he was a bit disappointed. Comes day three, and he thinks maybe on day one I put in a lot of efforts. Day two, I was a bit tired, but now that I'm refreshed, day three, I'm again going to go and cut many more trees than day one. Again, he puts in all his efforts, whatever he could do, he could only manage to cut 10 trees. He was further disappointed. This went on every day, and he put in all his efforts but kept cutting less and less trees every day. I must be losing my strength, the woodcutter thought. He went to the boss and apologized, saying that he could not understand what is going on. The boss asked him a simple question. My child, when was the last time you sharpened your axe? Sharpen my axe? I had no time to sharpen my axe. I have been so busy trying to cut the trees that I didn't even think about sharpening the axe. So, friends, our lives are like that. We sometimes get so busy in our day to day work that we don't take time to sharpen the axe. In today's world, it seems everyone is much busier than ever, but possibly less happy than ever. Why is that? Could it be that we have actually forgotten to stay sharp? See, there is nothing wrong with being busy with activity and hard work, but we should not get so busy that we neglect to focus on continuously developing our skills and sharpening our axe. Each one of us has a different axe. If we don't take the time to sharpen our axe, we will become dull and lose our effectiveness. Take a moment to reflect and think, what is your axe that you want to sharpen? It could be your communication skills, it could be your social skills. So, whatever it be, that if you try to focus on that, it will help you to develop your overall personality. Coming to the word personality, can anybody tell me how would you define personality? When you hear this word personality, what comes to your mind? Yes, and this is now open. Y'all can unmute and anybody who wants to share. What do you think? What is the meaning of personality?
Maybe sometimes appearance, the way they look.
Okay, so the way a person looks, that defines his personality. Yes, anybody wants to add to that?
And also sometimes the eye contact
Eye
I,
contact. Yeah.
attitude.
and
Attitude. Okay. So
The
somebody
way
posture
talked
and
one carry
gestures.
oneself, the way one carry oneself.
right. So somebody talked about the way he looks. Somebody says attitudes, which means the way you behave. Somebody is saying the way you carry yourself. That is right. And if you take all of these together, personality of a person is defined as an amalgamation of the qualities and attributes which contribute to the person's character and image. One thing we need to remember that personality arises from within us and makes us who we are. Yes, as you rightly said, the personality of an individual is determined and judged by what we can see, his appearance, his behavior, attitude, education, values, and some more varying characteristics. Now, when we talk about trying to develop our personality, what does this whole personality development mean? Personality development is the process of developing a set of characteristics and traits which contribute to the overall personality of a person. Personality development is often confused by, say, just enhancing your dressing sense or maybe gaining proficiency over the English language. Well, a person who dresses well and speaks fluent English isn't necessarily supposed to have a good personality because personality development is an all round development. So, in this session, over the next 20 minutes or so, what we are going to look at are some small tips on how we can develop our personalities. And the beauty is, this is relevant to any stage of your life, wherever you are, whether you are At the beginning of your career, you're still a student. Beginning your careers, mid of your careers, any point of time, you can still do something to further develop your personality. And whatever you do, that is a fantastic investment. Yes, a lot of advice you get on investing in good, profitable things, so mutual funds, shares, etc. But possibly an investment in your personal development could be one of the best investments you can make. So let us look at these tips. Before I get into the first tip, let me again share a small story. Once a frog fell into a vessel of hot water, and the water was still on the gas stove. The frog still did not try to jump out of the vessel. Instead, he just stayed in it. As the temperature of the water started to rise, the frog managed to adjust its body temperature accordingly. As the water started to reach the boiling point, the frog was no longer able to keep up and manage its body temperature according to the water temperature. It was then that the frog tried to jump out of the vessel, but with the water temperature reaching its boiling point, the frog was not able to bear it and couldn't make it. Now tell me, why do you think was the reason that the frog did not jump out of the water? Yes, anybody? Why do you think he did not jump out of the hot water?
Because he adapted himself in that situation.
Okay. And maybe at the earlier stage when the water was just warm, if he would have tried, could he have jumped out?
Yes.
So at that point of time, why didn't he jump out?
It depends upon the level of perception. If the frog tries his level best to adapt for the situation, it may
Hmm.
sinks. If it don't want to be fit in that box, it may jump out of the box.
Correct.
So
He
So he
has
that's
thought,
the
taken the
difference
situation
between the
for
success and
granted.
the failure.
yeah. Yeah. Somebody else was trying to say something?
He has taken the situation for granted.
Yes. And all of this, there is one main reason why, you're talking about perception and he's taking for granted is possibly lack of confidence. And that is your first tip to develop your personality is being confident because that frog was not confident of himself jumping out. Hence, he tried to do a lot of other things. Confidence is certainly the most important factor which adds to the personality of an individual. All of us make mistakes. A person's confidence might go down due to mistakes, failure, guilt, or any other thing which is undesirable. In fact, some people develop an inferiority complex due to maybe their physical appearance, their background, their financial status, etc. And such people perceive confidence as their weakness, while the truth is that confidence is really an individual's biggest strength. Your confidence reflects your character, attitude, and passion. You should be confident about who you are and whatever you do. Being confident will help you express yourself and stand amongst the crowd. As somebody had rightly said, confidence comes not from always being right, but from not fearing to be wrong. I'll read it again. Confidence comes not from always being right, but from not fearing to be wrong. The second tip is improve your communication skills. It is said the ability to speak is a shortcut to distinction. The way you speak reflects who you are, which means consciously, whenever you speak, be polite and gentle with your words. Use decent words while interacting with everyone. Always think before you speak. I know today is the jet age. Everything moves very fast. So, as all of us, most of the times we speak and then we think. But I think it is time to take a pause. Think before you speak. Definitely, as we said earlier, having great fluency in English or any language will add to your communication skills. But that is not just what it is. See, English being globally accepted is preferred everywhere. English today is the business language. Now, this maybe none of us sitting here have decided, but so it is. So, it is important for all of us to work on our English proficiency by listening to English news, reading English newspapers, magazines, etc. And it doesn't mean that you have to use high flowing words, you know. And those who know of, you don't need to become a Shashi Tharoor, but use very simple words. in general interactions, but you need to really work at it because communication works for those who work at it. The third tip is dress up well. When I say dress up well, what does it mean? Do you need to wear, the most branded and expensive clothes? No, not really. Dressing sense means the general sense about how you should dress up for the occasion. So whether you're going to the office, whether you're going to the party or any other occasion. Also importantly, a person should wear not only according to the situation, but also how well the attire suits him or her. Good looks could add to your personality, but what matters the most is how you are dressed up, and as somebody had rightly said, how you carry yourself. How do you present yourself? So, irrespective of the physical attributes, one can have a good personality if he knows how to carry himself. Dressing sense thus plays a major role in personality and confidence development, which brings me to another story. This is a story about a person called Jim. Jim worked at a radio station all his life. He was a well known and a very famous radio host or a radio jockey. All of his friends and colleagues knew him by one feature, that if Jim is on air, he is always wearing a suit and a tie. In fact, they used to joke and laugh at him, saying, "Hey, Jim, no one ever sees you. You are not on television, you are on radio. Why do you dress like that?" But Jim always turned that into a joke and neglected it. Now, one day, Jim was invited to appear on TV. There was a show which was dedicated to the oldest radio employees. So, for the first time, the people who only knew Jim by his voice would get to see him. Just before the recording of the show, the director came up to Jim and asked Jim, "Hey, Jim, usually you arrive always on time, but today you are 10 minutes late. Now it's not horrible, but I'm still interested. Why did you get late today?" Jim answered, "You see, sir, at the last moment when I was already dressed up and ready, I noticed that I don't have a pair of new socks. Now, for the first time, I was invited for a television show, and I thought that just simply wearing clean pair of socks is not enough. It needs to be new socks. So I just went to the nearby store and picked up a pair of new socks." The director said, "But why do you need new socks?" He was very surprised. "You could have even come without the socks because we are going to film you only close up, that is above the waist." Jim replied, "You see, sir, to be spotless on air, I need to feel myself spotless in everything, starting with the pen in my shirt, going down to my shoes and my socks. And if my socks have holes in them or are dirty, I am not spotless anymore." So, friends, the tip to you is don't dress to kill, dress to survive. Moving on to the next tip, do what you're passionate about and be passionate about what you do. Always follow your passion and do whatever interests you. This will not only help you to grow as a person, but will also add to your confidence. Now, I know some people may argue that we are passionate about something, but for some reason, whatever we are doing today was not our choice. That's fine. Not everybody gets to choose whatever you are passionate about. But then, having got into what you are doing today, can you develop a passion for it? So be passionate about your work, and wherever you are, whatever field you are in, make sure that you give your best in whatever you do. This will add to your growth and strengthen your self confidence. Very important, never miss a chance to prove yourself. Whether if you're studying and whether it is in class and the professor asks you a question, it is a chance to prove yourself. Or maybe you're working and some problem comes up and nobody can solve it and you know the answer. That is your chance to prove yourself. So take that chance. And I'll tell you another story. This story is about a dispassionate young man who approached the Greek philosopher Socrates and casually stated, "Oh, great Socrates, I come to you for knowledge." The philosopher took the young man down to the sea, waded into the sea with him, and then held the back of his neck and dunked him underwater for 30 seconds. When he let the young man up for air, Socrates asked him to repeat what he wanted. Knowledge only, O great one, he said. Socrates put him underwater again, only this time a little longer. After repeated dunking and responses, the philosopher asked, "What do you want, my child?" The young man finally gasped, "Air. I want air." "Good," answered Socrates. "Now, when you want knowledge as much as you wanted air, you shall have it. There are no two ways about it. If you want anything badly enough, you can find the willpower to achieve it. The only way to have that kind of desire and willpower is to develop passion. So, friends, your passion is waiting for your courage to catch up. Before I get into my next step, I just want to check, Priya, if you could just tell me everything is okay. I'm audible. You can see my screen.
Yes, sir. It is
Thank
perfect.
you. Yeah, I thought I'll just check because otherwise I end up just speaking to myself. Okay.
No,
So the next tip, the fifth tip, watch your body language. Body language plays an important role to judge a person's confidence and personality. Try to make use of positive gestures while interacting with others. This shows that you are at ease while having a discussion. Studies reflect that 75% of our communication happens non-verbally. Your gestures thus play a vital role while interacting with others. And hence, of all the things you wear, your expression is the most important. So focus upon it and constantly think about it. The next step is improve your social skills. So, what is this? Man is a social animal. Every individual has to interact with a group of people one time or the other. I know a lot of young people come and tell me that, "Sir, but I am an introvert." See, being shy or introvert is the least desirable characteristics in any individual. In fact, personally, I believe that nobody is shy or introvert. If the person who says that he's shy or introvert, just once go to that person to his house and see how that person behaves with his siblings, with his parents, how they quarrel, how they fight, and then you'll come to know whether this person is really introvert. So definitely you have to look at interacting with people. If you happen to be at some gathering, maybe it's a party or some event, and you are alone, but you see a group of people together, what do you do? Do you try to find that corner and stand there for the whole evening, the whole night, the whole day? No. Try to go and join that group and participate in the discussions which they are having. Now, the question is, what do you discuss? For that, always stay updated with the current affairs and what is happening in your society around you. Now, maybe some of you are not interested in politics, but at least find out that there was some election results yesterday. So what happened? So that when you join that group and they're discussing something about the elections, at least you know something about it and could contribute something to it. Or maybe you're not interested in cricket, but then at least keep tab on what's happening in the sports world, so that when you join a group of people who are talking cricket, you are not alienated. Hence, keep yourself updated on knowledge. And one way of doing that is try participating in group discussions, seminars. I'm sure in your city and around you, you will find a lot of events happening. Try and participate there and try to meet as many people as you can. This will help you to be more open and adjust among a group of individuals. See, getting or giving anything is about social skills. The world is about being comfortable where you are and making people comfortable. And that is what social skills are all about. Our next step is develop leadership quality. See, a good leader is believed to have a good personality. Leadership skills does not mean how well you give orders. It means how well you can manage others to accomplish a particular task. Work harder to set an example to your associates and express yourself and always do as you say. Let me ask you, anybody here who has seen the Hollywood movie called Sully, Sully? It starred Tom Hanks.
Yes, I have seen it.
Okay, you've seen it. Anybody else from the participants? Okay, so if you've not seen it, I would strongly recommend you to go and see this movie called Sully, Sully. I'm sure you will find it on OTT platforms or online also. This movie is a fantastic example of leadership through level headedness. And I'll just give you a short synopsis of this. So, this movie is based on a real life situation, okay, where on 15th January 2009, the US Airways flight number 1549 took off from the LaGuardia airport, and shortly after taking off from the airport, it was struck by birds, a large flock of geese, and the plane lost power to both the engines. The captain of this aircraft was Captain Chesley Sullenberger, who was fondly called Sully, Sully. That is the name of the movie. And this character was played by Tom Hanks. And this movie is about as soon as Captain Sully found that we've lost power to both the engines, how he took control of the plane. And within that short period of time, he demonstrated fantastic leadership where he was calm throughout the thing. And quickly, the movie shows how he did mental calculations that they would not be able to land at any of the nearby airports. And finally, he took the decision, landed the plane on the Hudson River, and saved the lives of all 155 people on board that flight. So, this is a fantastic example of leadership because you should go and see that movie and you will understand that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Coming to almost the end of the session, our eighth topic is being optimistic. What does this mean? Have a positive outlook towards everything. Now, you yourself think nobody wants to be around a person who is negative and complaining all the time. And I'm sure you must have come across such people who are crying from morning to evening on why is this always happening to me. Nobody wants to work or live with a pessimist. When you face a failure, and everybody is going to face failures, let go of the assumption that you are the unluckiest person alive. Always use positive statements like, I can do it. I always have a choice. Expect good things from the future. And as they say, if you expect good things from the future, only good things will come to you. Let me tell you another story. I don't know if some of you have heard this. In a forest, a pregnant deer is about to give birth. She finds a remote grass field near a strong flowing river. So this seems to be a safe place. Suddenly, labor pains begin. At the same time, dark clouds gather around above and lightning starts a forest fire. She looks to her left and sees a hunter with his bow extended pointing towards her. To her right, she spots a hungry lion approaching her. What can the pregnant deer do? She is in labor. What will happen? Will the deer survive? Will she give birth to a fawn? Will the fawn survive? Or will everything be burnt by the forest fire? Will she perish to the hunter's arrow? Will she die a horrible death at the hands of the hungry male lion approaching her? The deer is constrained by the fire on one side and the flowing river on the other and boxed in by her natural predators. What does this deer do? She focuses on giving birth to a new life. And the sequence of events that follow are lightning strikes and blinds the hunter. He releases the arrow which zips past the deer and strikes the hungry lion. It starts to rain heavily and the forest fire is slowly doused by the rain. The deer gives birth to a healthy fawn. In our lives too, there are moments of choice when we are confronted on all sides with negative thoughts and possibilities. Some thoughts are so powerful, they overcome us and overwhelm us. Maybe we can learn from this pregnant deer. The priority of the deer in that given moment was simply to give birth to the baby. The rest was not in her hands, and any action or reaction that changed her focus would have likely resulted in death or disaster. So, friends, moral of the story, keep your focus even in the midst of a storm. And as Sir Winston Churchill had said, a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Okay, so now I've been speaking a lot. So it's time for you to also think and speak. So I'm going to ask you a riddle. Okay, everybody ready? Listen to this riddle. Ramu worked at a butcher's shop. His height was 5 feet 6 inches. His waist was 36 inches. He worked 10 hours a day and earned rupees 50 per day. I will repeat and then I'll ask you the question. Ramu worked at a butcher's shop. His height was 5 feet 6 inches. His waist was 36 inches. He worked 10 hours a day and earned rupees 50 per day. My question is, what did he weigh? And anybody who wants to answer can unmute and attempt your answer. And why you think? I'll just repeat the whole thing again. Ramu worked at a butcher's shop. His height was 5 feet 6 inches. His waist was 36 inches. He worked 10 hours a day and earned rupees 50 per day. The question is, what did he weigh? Nobody attempting? I'll also put the riddle on your screen and let's see if anybody can answer. Yes, anybody wants to attempt?
It's a general guess.
Yeah.
Basically, 5 feet 6 inches is a general height. It's not
Hmm.
not tall than 6 feet, and
Okay.
36 inches is normal.
Hmm.
Walking for 10 hours per day, isn't it really possible?
See, this is a riddle. So my focus is the question. What did he weigh? You can make your assumptions.
Maybe 60.
Okay. So somebody says 60,
40
40.
kg.
Okay. So we've got 60, we've got 40,
52 kgs.
52. Are wow, good. So a nice, not a round figure, but 52. Okay. I'll take one more answer. Okay. No more answers. Okay. So let's try and solve this together. So let us carefully read through. And if you remember what you heard me saying, Ramu worked at a butcher's shop. His height was 5 feet 6 inches. His waist was 36 inches. He worked 10 hours a day and earned rupees 50 per day. Now, my question was, what did he weigh? The answer to this question is he weighed meat. He weighed meat. See, Ramu worked at a butcher's shop, so he weighed meat. Y'all got that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, so this was, I think this has warmed you up. So do you want to get into another riddle? Now I think y'all will get it because y'all are now more alert.
Yes,
So
sir.
here comes your
please.
yeah. So here comes your next riddle. Okay, listen carefully. Angry and hungry are two words that end with GRY. Angry and hungry are two words that end with GRY. There are only three such words. My question is, what is the third word in the English language? So I'll repeat. Angry and hungry are two words that end with GRY. There are only three such words. What is the third word in the English language? Okay, nobody has guessed yet. So let me again put up the riddle on the screen so that it makes easier for you. Angry and hungry are two words that end with GRY. There are only three such words. What is the third word in the English language? I'm seeing something coming in chat. No. Yes, who wants to guess now? You'll have already got the flavor of the first riddle. Okay, nobody guessing? Should I give you a clue?
Sir,
Yes. Yeah. Are you trying to guess or should I give you the clue?
sir, clue.
Okay. So there is a clue which is going to come on your screen if you see carefully. So I've already put in the clue on your screen. Now can somebody get it? Now it should be very simple. Not yet?
Is it C?
No. Good attempt. But
Sir,
no.
we can't see the clue.
I've already put it on the screen.
Sir, is it G?
No, it's not G. Okay. One more attempt.
Is
it Jaggery.
RY?
No.
Jaggery.
No.
Jaggery.
No. So again, I'll give you the answer. So the riddle was angry and hungry are two words that end with GRY. There are only three such words. What is the third word in the English language? And if you see on your screens, I've actually put inverted commas in the English language. So the answer is language. Because the question was, what is the third word in the English language. And the third word is language. So did you all get it now?
Sir.
Yes. Okay. So good. Yes. Now, the reason why I asked you this riddle is because this brings us to our next personality development tip, which is listening skills. Be a good listener, be a patient listener, but be an enthusiastic listener. See, when we talk about communication and communication skills, we default to speaking. But remember, listening is a very essential part of the communication. In fact, possibly the more difficult part of communication, because this will help you see things from the eyes of others. Also, when you're listening, there is a difference between hearing something and listening something. So mental presence is a must to be a good listener. Even you think whenever somebody is speaking to you, right? How much do you focus on that? Or are you distracted by things? You are somebody speaking to you, maybe at home, your parents or your friends, but you are continuously on your mobile phones. So try to get away from any possible distraction while talking to your family members, friends, and co workers. Also, when somebody is speaking to you, try to demonstrate that you are listening to him. Ask questions to let the other person know that you were listening to him or her. Important quote by Stephen Covey, who said, most people do not listen intently. Focus on listening and understanding. And coming to our last should the zeal. This reflects your enthusiasm. The fact that you are all here means that you are interested in learning something new. Everybody makes mistakes, and that's fine. But don't let yourself repeat the same mistakes. Learn from them. In fact, not only learn from your own mistakes, learn from the mistakes of others, because you can't live long enough to make them all yourself. So, just to summarize, we looked at 10 tips of personality development, and these are all what I talked about. Okay. So, I won't repeat all of them, but in case somebody wants a screenshot or something, you can take that. This is all what we talked about. And now, just coming to the end of the session, just to summarize, nothing wrong with working hard. Hard work is important, but we need time to grow and get that sharpness. Personal development is not just about work, it is about developing oneself as a person, which will affect everything we do. Neglect that, and we will become dull. And no merchant wants a dull woodcutter with a dull ass. So, finally, my friends, wishing you all the best in sharpening your axe. And that was all I had to share. And before I hand it back and stop sharing, yes, we can still remain connected. And if you are interested, yes, I am active and available on LinkedIn. So you can look for me at LinkedIn. This is the address. And I look forward to being connected with all of you. I'll stop sharing my screen now, and I'll hand it back over in case there are any questions, etc. Yes. So back to you, Priya.
Yes, sir. Wow, what a wonderful knowledge given by you, sir. I hope our audience learned many new things from the session. I would like to highlight some of the points, like having a good sense of dressing means choosing clothes that make you feel comfortable, clothing, and express your personality. It's about wearing outfits that suits the occasion and highlight your best features, creating a positive impression on others while staying true to yourself. Confidence to believe in ourselves, feeling sure about what you can do. When this confidence combines with communication skills, like being friendly, listening well, and working together, it helps people feel good about themselves while also making groups and neighborhoods stronger and happier. Adaptability and learning. The notion of sharpening the axe underscores adaptability and a hunger for learning. It's about staying abreast of changes, innovations, and new approaches to maintain a competitive edge. Personality development. Beyond professional endeavors, it extends to personal development. It encourages self reflection, identifying areas for improvement, and actively working on resilience and efficiency. Being well prepared enhances resilience. It fosters the ability to bounce back from setbacks and ensure efficiency even in challenging. Preparation is paramount. Just as well as sharpened axe eases the process of cutting wood through preparation in any endeavor significantly enhances efficiency and effectiveness. Leadership. Leadership quality is a vital skill that guides teams. Effective leaders exhibit communication, empathy, and adaptability. They make sound decisions for uphold integrity. Strong leaders motivate and empower, fostering a collaborative environment for achieving shared goals. A continuous improvement. The analogy emphasizes the importance of constant refinement of skills and knowledge. Regularly owning one's abilities leads to better performance and outcome. And invest in readiness. Success isn't just about effort, it's about being ready for the task at hand. Investing time in preparation is as crucial as the effort exerted during the action. And lastly, efficiency through preparation. The concept stresses that a significant part of success happens before the actual work begins. The groundwork, the learning, and the readiness significantly impact the quality of execution. I hope the knowledge shared with us by Mr. Jitendra Sharma sir would have made a great impact in our life and hope that everyone starts practicing them slowly. Again, thank you for joining us and sharing your experience, your precious time and knowledge with all of us. Sir, there are a few questions which our
Yeah,
audience wants to be asked. So,
yeah,
with
please.
your permission,
So,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, Priya, to interrupt you. So, Jebra Manasa has raised her hand. So, can we go ahead first?
Yes.
So, such a wonderful presentation, sir, by giving those
Thank you.
tricky questions. And it's been like critical thinking. It's a very
Yeah.
good concept. Sir,
Thank
coming to the queries, can I
you.
ask?
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, as per our the Zen stories and the philanthropist of Gautam Buddha used to
Hmm.
say being calm for the long time is essential key for our life. But in
Yes.
this regular schedules, how we supposed to manage or how we supposed to habituate for the calmness, and how
Yeah.
can we stay calm during the toxic conversations? How to
Yeah.
handle with it?
Yeah, I can understand. See, whenever you are not calm, it's all because of anxiety, right? Everybody, you develop a lot of anxiety. Now, if you really think, what are you so anxious about, or what develops your anxiety? 99.9% of the things which give you anxiety are things which are not in your control.
Yes,
And
sir.
that is the thing which you get worked up on. So, if you can try to develop your skill to focus only on the things which you can control, it will automatically bring down your anxiety. I mean, let's take that story of that deer, the forest. Such a lot of things going around. I mean, if you are in that deer and you think about all these things, automatically your anxiety is going to up. I mean, your blood pressure is going to shoot through the roof. So, why to think about all these things which, if this will happen, then what will happen? If I do this, what will happen? So, try to cut all of that and just focus on the present and on the things which you can control. I think that will help you to be calm. I know, easier said than done, but it comes with practice. And that's where, when you think about all, whether you do yoga or you do meditation, it is all about trying to calm your mind, which is trying to bring you back into the present so that you're able to focus on one thing. Our minds, whatever intelligence we have, however sharp our mind is, we cannot do 10 things at the same time. So if you can break it up and focus on what you're currently doing, that will help to bring down everything, because our anxiety is all about the things which you're not currently doing, but you're just thinking, your mind is running here and there. So
Yes.
can we all bring that down and calm it? Yes, I'll tell you, it is not easy, but it comes with practice. And if you just keep focusing on, okay, what is important for me right now that I need to think about, let me just focus on that, on what I can control. Everything else I cannot control. Pollution around me I cannot control, but I can control what I am impacting the pollution. Traffic I cannot control, but I can control how I behave in traffic. Why do I get excited with everybody else or start shouting? So let me focus on what I can control. That could possibly help you to calm down a bit. if that helps you.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So maintaining a leadership quality is not easy because we're supposed to
Yeah.
manage with the boss and also hear the reviews or feedbacks from the toxic people and negative people, and also few people they don't know how to work. So how to balance
Yeah.
at that time just to maintain the quality of leadership.
Again, I think it is all about positive thinking. You said, negative feedback. Personally, I don't believe there is anything like a negative feedback. Any feedback is an area for improvement. So if you think from that perspective, if whatever feedback you get, the first thing is if you get feedback, you should be very happy that there is somebody who is giving me feedback. Okay. And if you take it as, is it an area which I can do something where it helps to improve myself, and you take it as an area for improvement, not as a negative thing, then you will start thinking in the right way. So always try to give a positive twist to whatever you think is wrong or negative. Can you try to change it to positive? And that is something which is in your control. See, what that person is telling about you or telling you is not in your control, but how you act on that or react or not react is in your control. So, coming back to the earlier point, it is all about trying to be in control and focus on things on which are in your control.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions, Priya?
Yes, sir. Yes. The question was that how can individuals ensure that they are maximizing their resources effectively while sharpening their skills for future opportunities?
Yes. So that is something where all of you have heard about a SWOT analysis,
Yes, sir.
SWOT, which is
Yes.
strengths, weaknesses, opportunities,
Yes.
threat. How many of you have done your own analysis? And in fact, more than a SWOT, I would recommend when you're doing a personal analysis, do a SWOC analysis, which means replace the T with a C. It becomes strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. See, because at an individual level, we may not have threats, but we have challenges. So, can you first do your own SWOT analysis? With that, it will identify the gaps. So, it will identify where you need to work upon. So, some of your weaknesses, some of your challenges. Once you have that list, then you can compare as to what resources do you have. So, maybe to tackle some of those weaknesses and challenges, you already have resources, but are you utilizing them? Because you talked about, the question was, how do I utilize my resources? For what are you needing those resources? And if you find out that you do not have the resources necessary to work on a particular weakness, can you try and get those resources? Okay. So if it is about your weakness could be a lack of knowledge about some particular topic, can you seek out resources, whether it is searching the internet for information or joining some course which will help you get that knowledge? That makes it adding to your resources, and that will help you to further develop yourself and bridge your gaps. So that is how you can make good use of your resources as well as get additional resources to sharpen yourself, to develop your personality.
Thank you, sir. So I
Yeah.
have another question.
Yes.
Yes. How can we try to balance between immediate tasks and investing time in sharpening our abilities for future?
Okay. So, number one, these are not two different things. The day you decide that, yes, I need to develop myself, it automatically becomes your immediate task. So it is not something which, okay, I will develop myself tomorrow or I will develop myself on 1st of Jan 2024. It is a continual activity. So it is nothing. So when you talk about prioritization of tasks, this is actually embedded in everything. So there is no question of prioritization. Whatever you do, what are you doing or how are you doing to develop yourself? So you may be doing some work which you're doing every day, the same thing, the same routine. Can you think of that if I'm doing the same activity today, how can I do it better than what I did it yesterday? It could be as simple as brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth every day, hopefully. So if you brush your teeth, what can I do to make my brushing experience better than yesterday? Okay. Maybe I'm just doing it very monotonously, automatically. Can I actually now focus on it and see that I'm brushing every part of my mouth clearly so that I did something better? Right? So it is just taking one small example. So anything you do, driving to work, how can I make it better? Meeting colleagues, talking to them, how can I make it better? I go to a party. How can I make my experience better? Maybe last time I went to the party and I was just standing in a corner. Can today, when I'm going to the party again, can I talk to five new people and make friends? So whatever you're doing and whatever you try to do better than what you did yesterday is you're developing yourself. And we don't mean that you need to climb Mount Everest in one day. It is, small progress. Anything which you think you did better than yesterday itself is a big progress. You have developed yourself. So development is a continuous activity and not a task which is now or to be put up for later. Yes, Priya.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I have few more questions.
Go
Like,
ahead.
how can we effectively manage technology distractions to maintain our focus?
Yes. So the first thing is, and I'm a strong supporter of technology. Yes, there will be a lot of debates upon pros and cons, etc. But technology is here. The thing is, what can you do so that it really doesn't become a distraction? When will it not become a distraction? When you are making good use of the technology. Right? If you are making good use of a technology, how is it a distraction? I mean, today, even if I'm spending 5 hours on my mobile phone, but if I'm learning something new, if it is helping me to do something better than what I did yesterday, it is not a distraction. So whatever time you spend using technology, you yourself review the time I spent. Did I gain anything from it? Did I lose my time? Yes, maybe I had something important to do, but I kept that aside and I thought I will play this game or watch this movie for 2 hours. And then you review and then you see, oh, did I lose something or did I gain something? If by seeing that movie you actually learned something good, I would say it was not a distraction, it was not a waste of time. You have learned something of that. But if you didn't learn anything and you actually lost out on what you were supposed to do, then it's a distraction. So can you convert that distraction into something positive? Then technology is always going to be helpful to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Priya. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And the next question is, sir, that how can we maintain a sense of motivation and enthusiasm for continual improvement while having a busy schedule or demanding workloads?
I think for that, the most important thing is to be very clear on your goal and your objective. What are you trying to achieve? Whatever you're doing, why are you doing it? Right? So there has to be some goal. I mean, if you are walking and you have walked 1,000 steps, you definitely need to know which direction you are going and where you are going to reach. Right? Otherwise, there's no point in walking. So, first is have very clear goals and objectives. And once you have your clear goals and objectives, that is the time where you yourself will realize that whatever I'm doing today, is it taking me further toward my objective or goal? Or is it actually taking me in a wrong direction? And then you can do a course correction. The pace at which you are working will again determine will you reach your goal or your objective in time, or with the pace with which you are working it is going to take 3 lifetimes for you to achieve that goal. So the first thing is have very clear goals and objectives. And I'm not talking about thinking about the ultimate goal. It could be even a short term goal. It could be a goal for what do you want to achieve, say, in the next 3 months. That will determine what you do in the 3 months, right? So you decide your tenure in a goal, but take that. And once you have met that objective, you move to the next one. Take another goal. So always have objectives or goals because only that will help you to move in the right direction and at the right pace.
Yes, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for acknowledging all my questions. It was really helpful.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide additional support to you. Please follow us on our social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the new learning.